Okay, so I just bought Turner Motorsport's IAT Relocation Kit. That's intake air temperature. The theory is that as your engine heats up, and let's say you're parked waiting for your turn to go at the drag strip, the heat from your engine is going to dissipate into the components around your engine bay, including your intake air temperature sensor, which is on the intake tube leading into your intake manifold, which goes into your engine. So if the sensor itself heats up, it's going to incorrectly register the temperature of the air coming into the engine and won't be able to bleed off that heat fast enough to correctly read the intake air temperature. So what this kit does is relocates the sensor elsewhere in the engine bay while still utilizing the factory location of the plug-in for the IAT. So you would locate it in a place where you're not going to get heat from the engine dissipating into the sensor. So this won't actually give you extra horsepower, but it will keep you at peak horsepower for longer. So this is everything you get with the kit. You get a wiring harness, you get a new temperature sensor, you get a nut, and a new washer to secure the sensor to a location away from the engine heat. You also get a set of instructions that if you misplace them, you can get these online off of turnermotorsport.com like I did. Installation is very simple. You simply disconnect the connector on your IAT. You take the appropriate end of the supplied wiring harness and then you plug it into your IAT. Take the other end of the wiring harness and plug it into the connector from your IAT that goes to the ECU. Then you take the final end, and that is where you plug in the supplied temperature sensor. After that, you would just secure these cables someplace safe and then find a place to mount the sensor. The suggestions in the instructions for mounting the sensor show that you could mount it here. If you have a cold air intake like I do, you can drill a hole and have it sitting right here. I don't particularly like this idea because it's not too dissimilar to just having your sensor right here where it already is. I feel the engine heat can come and you still get the heat soak into the sensor. The other place that was suggested was this tube right here. You would drill a hole and have the sensor facing that way. Air, of course, is drawn up through the nostrils of the car, and I still feel that's not the best bet because the radiator hose right there, it's also basically directly over the radiator. So I don't really feel like that's the best option. My plan actually is to mount it kind of low. There's an intake tube that draws air from right here. So I'm going to take off my filter and try to mount it down there. The cord seems plenty long enough. As you can see, it does go pretty far. So I don't see having an issue mounting it there. So now with the filter off, I was able to access where I'm trying to mount this thing. It's going to be down there. Tube came out pretty easy. I don't know if I'm going to try to mount it on that or if I should just drill straight down into that plastic part where you can see that opening at. The cord, plenty long enough. Definitely got ample room. So I think that is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to drill the hole and should definitely be enough room to get to both sides of this. So my plan is a little bit of a fail because the drill just doesn't fit. Won't go all the way down there to get to that plastic piece. So plan B, chalk the wheels all the way to the right or left
And I should be able to take off this lower part of the plastic wheel well and then get to the intake right there. Okay, so we have success. I got the sensor installed where I want it. Should get nice cool air. Now all I gotta do is reroute, or not reroute, but secure the cables and then button everything else back up. Okay, that's how you install Turner Motorsports IAT Relocation Kit. It installs really simply, looks really clean. I will probably relocate this wire underneath that flange though to give it a even more clean look. But it's a really easy do-it-yourself job that I'm sure anybody can do. Should maintain peak horsepower if you happen to be out driving spiritedly. So that's what I aim to do. This weekend I might actually be going to Tell of the Dragon up in Tennessee. So it'd be kind of nice to not have heat soak for that.